blocking you.
You know, I got what was that? What did he say? What did he say? What? Is he one of those that says something and walks away?
Yes. I knew there was a reason I was blocking you.
He was joking.
Who here agrees, as far as this event, how well it could have been if the weather agreed with us today?
Yeah.
How many feel that this kind of a place is just freaking awesome for what we want to do with the event? And Ray Lynn,
While you're talking about
getting
that,
it all together.
I'm going to pan the camera out that direction so everybody can see what we're talking about here.
Are you going to show the marshes?
Well, go ahead and pan.
Yeah, sure.
But, you know, I feel personally, with everybody here, I said about standing up, speaking out, and getting involved, right? Well, Ray Lynn really didn't have much help this year. And with our mindsets and how we think about this country, what we have to say about this country, the standing up, speaking out, and getting involved, because that's what we do, right? That's everybody here, that's basically what we're doing, right? The people that have spoke, they stand up, they speak out, they get involved. So if we all work together and help Ray Lynn, we can blow this out. This venue right here, I looked at it, and I'm going, man, awesome. This is beautiful. If the weather agreed. And we'd have to get the word out to all our friends, family, co-workers, everybody we know, put it out there on Facebook so that Ray Lynn wouldn't have to do so much on her own. That's what is about standing up, speaking out, and getting involved. The getting involved together. Not the way the left, as you were talking about, talks about being together, unite. Workers of the world, unite. Right?
Right.
That's what they say. But we're talking about it for the benefit of this country. The way that our founders implemented this country and gave us the constitutional republic that we have right now. We can't let them take it away. And by us sitting on our backsides is not going to do it. Wow, we were here this year. We'll wait till next year. And nothing. We got to invite other people of the same mindset. Yourself, I know you're involved. We got to get more people. I'm an oath keeper in the state of Ohio. I'm the media director for the Ohio Oath Keepers in the state of Ohio. If you know former military, if you know people that are conservative, if you know people that care about this country, we can blow this out next year. We can blow it out. It's about getting involved. Like Benjamin Franklin said, we give you a republic if you can keep it. Right? We give you a republic if you can keep it. Why, damn it? I want to keep it. We got to work throughout the year. We can't just wait until right before, oh, I got this event to go to. We got to tell everybody about it. Ray Lynn needs some help, and that's what I'm asking for next year's event. Wherever it might be, hopefully it'd be just like this. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Hey, Galesburg's got nice venues too.
Hint, hint, wink, wink. Anyway, moving on with the venue here, we're going to go to, oh, who's this guy? I don't think I've ever seen this name before. Guns Across America. That's the Brandon Gatton, Guns Across America. I think we mentioned that earlier, right? About the reciprocity, you know, across America. It's been mentioned since Trump has been in. He agrees with it, so why don't we get it done? Here's Brandon Gatton, everybody. Oh, he's also got that little radio show. It matches him. The Machine radio show. It is pretty awesome, but he is not politically correct either.
You know, it's real easy to bring you down to my level, right? All I have to do is headbutt you. I'm right at that height. I mean, straight testicles, I will crush them. Anyhow, everybody knows who I am, apparently, most of you do. Me and Brian have talked, we've done simulcasts on the radio together. I don't have a beautiful tagline like he does. What was it again? What was that tagline?
Everybody.
Stand up, speak out,
Get involved. Well, I am standing up. I am short. I am sorry. I'm not sitting down. I am standing up. I am definitely speaking out, as you can see right now, and especially on the radio. And obviously, we're getting involved anytime that I can. You know, I've said it to Raylan. I'm a busy man. I'm not going to lie. I'm running a small company myself. I work, 10, 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week in a building with no windows, which is why I have a ball named Wilson. He's my best friend. But what's that?
Yeah, what's the other one called?
Well, see, it's just one, but it's very large. Okay.
A-ball.
And by the way, there's nothing like a short scrotum. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Hey, I'm keeping it clean. I'm not saying frig this and frig that yet.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, it's called beautiful. Okay. But like I said, we don't really have much of a tagline for our radio show, but anybody who listens to it knows we like to throw a lot of comedy into it. So I'm going to do my best to kind of throw some comedy in here, but basically the state of Illinois is a joke in and of itself. So I don't really need that much help. And by the way, this man over here, he's a tough act to follow. I love what you said, man, and I hope we get together again soon. And see, right off the bat, when he got up here, what did I do? He's out here, these benches are in the rain. I grabbed my hoodie. I don't know this man. I've never met him before in my life. In fact, until 5 minutes ago, I never even shook his hand and talked to him. I walked up, and what I do? I put my hoodie over his stuff because I believe that's what, as Americans, we should do. We should watch out for one another. We should be together. And, that's a message we try to convey over our radio show, which, by the way, I guess if you want to have a tagline, sorry, Brian, it's not your daddy's conservative talk radio show, okay? And just a few minutes ago, I had to explain to him exactly what our productions company is called, Weaponized Sloth Productions, and I had to explain to him what entailed. This is why we are, comedians on the radio. About 3 or 4 years ago, we were talking about how we were going to stop the war in Afghanistan and Iraq. And we came up with these goofy ideas, and I'm not politically correct, so I'm going to go right off the bat with what we said first. We said, well, we just take all the rockets and the bombs and fill them full of bacon bits. Or we could have a bunch of these Illinois farmers pick up a bunch of piglets, and we could just airdrop them in there and be like a reverse Operation Dumbo Drop, and just watch everybody get the hell out of the way. Because they see these pigs, they believe they're unclean, they don't want to touch them, so boom, they're gone. Like, look, we cleared the village, we didn't have to fire a shot. But the Weaponized Sloth Productions ended up coming to be because we had multiple radio stations. We got tired of just everybody, being spread out. We're like, we're going to put everybody together, which Brian has a spot on there too. He doesn't know that yet, but surprise. The whole name Weaponized Sloth, and I got to explain this before I actually really get going here, is when we were talking about this, we're like, okay, we have this idea. Let's grab the fastest land animal on Earth and the slowest land animal on Earth, and let's somehow put them together. I was like, okay, we'll take the cheetah, and we will starve him for 5 days and feed him nothing but peyote. We'll grab the sloth, we'll sharpen his nails, we'll wait 4 or 5 days and give him nothing but 8 balls of cocaine. It's going to take the slowest land animal, make it the fastest one ever, and we're going to make these things ride into the village. By the way, with GoPros, because you can't wait to see what happens when they see these animals, because they've never seen them before. They're like, what on earth is this? So that's how that came to be. We even got a logo for crying out loud. There you go. But once again, let's go back to the state of Illinois, okay? The elections are coming up, and like Brian said, you don't wait till an election to worry about what's going on and to get involved with it and to speak out, about it. We really don't have any choices this year. The gentleman that was here, Moraine, I like him. I like Sam McCann. I do. I kind of talked a little bit with Cash Jackson a little bit. I haven't heard back from him much. But you got, the other two, you got Bronner and you got Blagojevich Jr., who, by the way, looks like a deranged cherub. But Pritzker, right off the bat, if you go to his website and you read what he wants to do and everything, it immediately terrifies you, does it not? Right on, like, you were talking about taxes. We are taxed. I think I got taxed 4 times before I even got to the venue. That's all we're known about here, and it's not the people's fault that the government in Illinois screwed up, and they, did all these promises that obviously they're not going to be able to keep. We are in horrible debt because of this. And
I'll argue. I apologize. I'll argue. It is the people's fault.
First of all, voting the man. But yeah, I'll get to that. I'll get to Madigan too, because I love that man. Pritzker, we talked about the license plates. They want to drive them up from what I'm already paying, which is, and I'm glad to pay it because my license plates on my vehicle are Marine Corps. So every time I buy my license plate, my sticker, part of that goes to the Marine Corps College Fund for children in the fall. So I'm okay with paying a little bit more for something like that. But when they say, hey, you're going to have to pay $500 per vehicle, $500 per vehicle, think about that. I have 3 vehicles.
Nobody will be able to drive, can't afford that.
Exactly. I have 3 vehicles of my own. I have a work truck, I have my custom car, and I have another truck that's in that I'm working on. It's another custom vehicle. I told with the older one, maybe I could just take the plates off the good one and put it on that one. That's illegal. You can't do that. So you'll get busted and you're screwed. But that's not it. When I mentioned the taxes on on that the tax per mile. Okay, the tax per mile, the way it is stated, the way it is written, and the way it is on Pritzker's website is it's not about the electric cars, it's about everybody. So now you're already being taxed by getting your fuel, now you're going to get taxed by driving by the mile. And by the way, one thing that he's also for, and apparently so was Ronner, is to raise the fuel tax in and of itself. We're already, I believe I checked, the 4th highest in the country out of 50 states for fuel. When I drive a 1995 Chevy Z71, it's got 208,000 miles on it and has a nasty 350 in it. And it's 4-wheel drive. I use that for work. And the way they structure Illinois now, you cannot write off your fuel no more. So what's going to happen? Most of these guys, especially construction companies, are going to be gone overnight because they won't be able to afford to drive their vehicles no more. It's insane. I can't believe that they would even bring this up. And in interest, we're going to bring up Madigan. Toll booths. How many of you have driven through a toll booth? Everybody here. It costed me $18 to get to my friend's house in Chicago. I told him he's the most expensive person I've ever met. But those were structured way back when to pay for the roads and schools, were they not? Ronner's been speaker for 35 years. This was his baby. He said, "Oh well, this money is going to be allocated for roads. This money is going to be allocated for the schools." Well, I'm here to tell you, half the schools in my town shut down. Most of the schools I drove by in Chicago were now boarded up. So that didn't happen. Roads? Have you ever had a wheel get ripped off of your vehicle?
Who owns them?
What's that?
Who owns the toll booths?
Oh, go ahead.
Who owns them?
Who knows? Who owns the toll booths?
Americans don't.
No, we don't.
China has input on some of those.
France is one and Spain is another. North and south,
I wasn't going to bring that up, but thank you very much.
We can't even own our own tolls.
No, that's actually a attested truth. You can go on pretty much, well, I hate to say it, but Google. I don't really like using Google. But, you can get on Google and actually look it up, and it's literally true. But, once again, going back to Madigan, You know, he said, well, this allocation is supposed to be for the roads. I can tell you right now, by going to Wisconsin, that I've paid for that road more than once.
We do.
I'm kidding.
Oh, yeah, God said.
Yeah.
$50 almost one way. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. This is how, hey,
That's how we work.
Brian has heard my show. My listeners are the biggest part of my show. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. Actually, I'd probably still be here because I'm a pain in the ass of society. But, you know, I like having that back and forth. I like hearing that. A friend of the guy that I rent part of my commercial property from, he's a truck driver. The only place he won't go? California. He won't go to California because we modified his semi truck. Yeah, we block off DGR on that thing. Gets great gas mileage, by the way, without that thing on it. But, you know, me and him had talked about this. Me and him talked about fuel tax and everything else like that. And since he's a privateer, he found a way around it. We have a refinery in his building. We refine old used oil.
Really?
Yeah, we run a considerable amount of used motor oil in his truck, and so he's able to bring back his fuel costs. But again, you know, like I said, going back to Madigan and his promises with all these with the roads and with the schools and stuff like that. Everybody's driven through Chicago, driven around Chicago, through Chicago, anywhere near Chicago. Look at the roads. And
They're top notch.
oh, they're fantastic.
Best in the country.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but actually, you probably did because I think I drove it last time. My car is called the Little Red Death. Okay, it's a little 1985 Pontiac Fiero GT. Very highly modified, the best of everything. My struts on the back of that thing are $350 a pop. You know, so I'm using Moog ball joints, Moog tie rods and everything else like that. I'm on my way to Chicago. I was like, this is going to be a damn good time. I'm going to be up here. I'm going to have a good time this weekend. I take an off ramp, and I look and I see the hole, and there's nothing I can do about it because there's a vehicle right up on me. I couldn't downshift, I couldn't move. The lane was just as wide as the vehicle, which, by the way, is hilarious because the car's like this big. But I hit the hole, and I'm like, oh, what was that? And about the time I said, what was that, the most amazing thing ever happened. It was terrifying, but amazing. My tire outran me. I look over, and there goes my wheel. I'm like, son of a... I need to sign him up for NASCAR or something because he's out of here. And I'm watching it go across the lanes. I'm like, oh, please, somebody don't hit that. That rim cost $1,000. And it was, you know, at first I was actually kind of giggling because it happened. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, look at that, you know, because there it goes. It's going down the highway, and all of a sudden it just pulls over to the side of the road and lays over. I'm like, thank you. But then I realized there's damage to this car. I was like, you know, when I painted the car, and this tells you how long I've had it. In 2000, I painted that car. I paid $5,000 to paint that car, and I did the work. So, you know, I'm thinking, okay, there's my paint. There goes my bumper. I look underneath, I'm like, well, there's my control arm. It's back there somewhere. And I'm like, the tie rods, like, how do you split a Moog tie rod? We use those on our friggin' race cars at the dirt track. They're indestructible. How do you break one? And I'm like, I looked over and I looked at the hole and I'm like, thanks, Madigan. But again, you know, we're never going to get anything to change in Illinois if we do not get rid of that man. Madigan is literally the scourge of Illinois. You know, once again, going back 35 years. He's been 35 years speaker. He's been, what, almost 40-something years in Congress? Who else has to blame other than him? He structured the laws. He structured the state to where it works for Madigan. It does not work for the people. It does not work for us. And until we do something about it, and using Brian's tagline, you know, stand up, speak out, and get involved. Until we do something about it, nothing's going to change. We're going to keep getting taxed. Schools are going to keep closing. The roads are going to keep falling apart. Infrastructure is going to go to crap. So what do I got to do? I mean, right now, and I said this when I pulled up, didn't I? I said I didn't care how many people are here. There's enough here to listen. There's enough people here that care enough about this country and about this state that they're here. That man drove from Ohio. I don't know why, but he did. You know,
Glorious people like you.
Yeah, I was talking to him. Thank you very much. I was talking to him last night. What was it? Midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Daddy kept me up.
Well, somebody had to. I know old age is really creeping up on you, dude. I'm sorry. No, I just drink enough coffee that, pretty much my blood runs out as lava. It's terrible. But, we were talking last night, and we kept in conversation. I get a hold of Raylan as much as I possibly can. If there's a lot of times I don't really have much to say. I'll just contact somebody like, hey, how you doing? This guy over here, he don't love me no more, so he never calls me, he never talks to me. But, that's a big thing about that is communication. Is getting people to understand, getting people to talk. And I like how he said that, is getting the conversation going. I've even done that as well, where I went into restaurants, or we were out in a function or something like that, and I wasn't wearing the Machine Radio Show T-shirt. I wasn't wearing the Trump 45 shirt or anything like that. The ones I'd use to provocate, especially the one that I can't show that has a foul word on it. But I do that all the time. I will say certain phrases and stuff like that and get a conversation going. When a couple of years ago, when Obama was in Springfield, I froze my ass off. I was out there in negative 20 degrees, which, on a tangent on that one, they thought me and my friend Matt, the other host for the radio show, were Secret Service. Because it was our cell phone cables. It was nothing else. We used a tide line. We don't like using them. So we had those in. We were wearing all black. And we're walking by, and one guy's like, "Uh-oh, there's a Secret Service." I'm like, "Do I look like Secret Service to you? Seriously, have you listened to me talk? Do I look like? Come on!" But we're like, "Okay, we're gonna ride this one out." So we're walking around, we're like, "Excuse me, coming through." And we were doing this to people, and we were laughing hysterically the whole time we get past them, like, we're having a good time with this. But when I was up there, there was a handful of Obama supporters. There's a handful of us. We had a couple that were, I hate saying this, on our side. They were there, and I was like, one of them was complete nutball. I mean, absolutely insane. Every time we walked past her, like, we don't know her. And we just kept going, because she was saying just the most outlandish things that I had ever heard. I mean, even well beyond, conspiracy theory. I mean, she was out in another dimension. I don't know what she was talking about. So we stayed away from them. We walked down, and we were talking to some, I had my Tascam recorder on me. And I told one lady, I said, "Would you like to do an interview?" She's like, "About what?" I said, "Well, about what's going on here, about President Obama coming down to the Capitol and stuff like that." And I was like, "And I'm going to remind you," and said, "I am a conservative talk radio show." I said, "But I'm not going to hate on you. I'm not going to badger you for being supportive of your candidate. He's still our president." But and she's like, "Yeah, sure." So we started talking about gun rights. And the healthcare bill. I said, "Did you know there's a clause in the healthcare bill that says, let's say, lo and behold, my wife dies, or my mother dies, my dad gets killed at work or something like that, and I'm depressed, and I want to go talk to somebody." You know what I just did right there? I admitted that I am mentally unfit. So therefore, I just gave up my Ford card. Because I might have felt down that day and felt like I should talk to somebody because I'm having a rough go of it. I just now, gun rights gone.
That's what they're looking for right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're pushing. Like he was talking about, when he used common sense gun control. That word, what's the word control mean? That's exactly the point. They want to control it. They want to shut you down. And I get questions like this all the time. I get comments, especially like, "Well, have they come to take your guns away yet?" I was like, "No, because there's people like me still around." I was like, they're not going to take my guns.
Had anybody heard about the shooting in Cincinnati just the other day?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, shooting in Cincinnati.
There was a shooting in Cincinnati, and I was listening to radio, that's what I do, and this one guy on a conservative station even said that we got to find some way to get the guns out of the crazy people. Man.
Which is the problem. So people hear that, and it's like, that makes sense. Nobody wants crazy people to have a gun. I know I don't. The problem is,
Right.
who
Hey, come
gets
on.
to decide who's crazy?
Come on,
That's
man.
the whole thing.
Get up here.
Government.
There is,
Government.
Get up here. All right.
There is no if in the Second Amendment.
I said that no one wants crazy people to have a gun. We all can agree, so it sounds good. It's common sense gun reform. Except, who gets to decide who's crazy?
Exactly.
Government.
We just keep moving the line, okay, just those people. And then we say, no, now these people too. And now everyone with two legs. Everyone with a two-leg is crazy. They don't get to carry guns.
What was the first thing that they said when they started pulling that though? Who were the first people they went after? The military. Veterans are unfit. Yep. Because they may have saw combat,
For our vets over there.
they are unfit to have a firearm. I'm here to tell you, you know what? If there was, if we had, weather, the raining blessings upon us. But, if there was a bunch of people out there, if there was 1,500 people out there, if there was 1,500 veterans out there and they were all armed, I'd feel the most safe I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Because I trust my brothers, I trust my sisters, I trust them to have firearms, I trust this man to have firearms, I trust you, I trust everybody here. Why? Because we can pass the background check. And that goes along the lines with, with the whole prisoner thing and stuff like that. We talked about this before, and I guess I threw a monkey wrench into everybody's situation when I started talking about, well, some people make a mistake in life. Okay, they go to prison. They've done something wrong. Should we necessarily, judge them for that? What was the circumstance? What did they do? What if this guy was just, it was tax evasion. He screwed up his books on his business, didn't know any better, had somebody else doing them, and now he's done 18 months in prison. Now he doesn't have a firearm. Now he doesn't have the right to vote.
Sounds like Dinesh D'Souza.
Exactly, Dinesh D'Souza. By the way, have you watched the new one?
I haven't yet. I got to.
It's fantastic. Anything that he does is absolutely phenomenal.
I agree.
Uh,
He's a proud American.
Yes, he is, very. Well, and we talked about immigration earlier too. I'm going to go into that a little bit. I am technically a first-generation American. My grandmother was from Germany. They escaped the Russian occupation zone in war-torn Germany, which, by the way, is completely impossible to do. They found a way out. All right, they should have found a way out before that. Not going to lie, my great-grandfather was a German officer. He was killed in France. And at that time, I was hoping that because the Russians weren't quite there yet, they could have probably got out a little bit easier. But then again, so some of our family members who were still there and everything, some of them did try to defect as early as 41. You know what happened to them? Anybody have an idea what happened? Because what did Adolf Hitler say?
He was killed.
Germans for Germany. Exactly. That's exactly what happened. They were killed. My grandmother made it. They made it to Canada with her stepdad. Her stepdad was a Kriegsmarine, and I had the most amazing conversation with that man before he passed too, about his role in World War II and how. He even showed me a letter that was signed by Adolf Hitler. Signed personally by Adolf Hitler. He asked him to join the Nazi Party. He declined. Because he was already in the Navy, stuff like that before Hitler came to power. So therefore, he stayed in. Well, what do? You fight for your country. And once it was over, he's like, I don't want nothing to do with this. This place is still insanely bad. I'm getting out of here. They go to Canada. My grandmother met my grandfather. Sparks flew. She became he's an American. She's a Canadian at that time. Actually, there's dual citizenship. I wonder if there's tri-citizenship because German, Canadian, American. Where I'm going with this, with the immigration, is once again, she came in the right way. It wasn't just marriage. They filed the papers. They went through everything. And get this. A couple years before her death, I'm fighting for her paperwork. because of an error in 1958 by the Social Security office. They wrote her birthday wrong. They told her she wasn't, when she went to go get her Social Security after my grandfather died, she couldn't get it. They said she wasn't an American. They told us, they actually called me because I was the one, my mother was the one taking care of everything, but they called me because I'm a little bit more, and I'm gonna say it, Raylan, sorry, asshole. I'm a bit more of an ass than most of my family. I'm a little bit more outspoken, a little bit more, outgoing. So they told us, well, you have to take that Social Security card that we gave her and you have to tear it up. I was like, no, that's proof right there that you guys screwed up. I'm not tearing up that card. Well, you're going to have to. I was like, no, what you're going to do is you're going to fix the paperwork, you're going to give her Social Security, or you're going to visit me, or I'm going to visit your office. And the guy on the phone was like, well, you sure don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do. I was like, oh no, I think I do, because my grandmother's a legal immigrant. I was like, you'll give, and we went on this phone call. I'm not going to bore you with the whole thing. Well, it finally ended. I gave up on that. Well, let's fast forward a couple of years later. Ronnie Davis has an office that is right off the town square in my hometown. I'm at an event, not like this. It's kind of like a craft event. So I'm standing there and I'm watching. I keep hearing this chanting. I'm like, where in the hell is that coming from? It's a Sunday. What's going on? I turn around and look, and here comes a wave of people. And I notice they're carrying signs. So, it says justice for illegal immigrants. And I'm an American too, and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, these are illegal immigrants. What are they doing on Sunday? I yelled out to one. I was like, what are you guys doing? Well, we're going to go stand in front of Rodney Davis's office. Like, well, he's not there. Nobody's there. It's a Sunday. We're the only ones that are out in public on Sunday. So we're out there. And I finally asked one of them, I was like, well, how many of you guys are illegals? And one of them actually brazenly raised up his hand and said in broken English, I am. I was like, okay, so why are you protesting? He's like, well, I'm protesting this. I was like, no. I said, why are you protesting? Because you're not here. You're an illegal immigrant. You have no right to protest in this country. I was like, do you see where I'm going with this? He's like, no. I said, do you know where the immigration office is? I was like, I can point it to you. I'll take you there. I was like, you do it the right way. You come in the right way. Welcome home, my brother. I'll love anybody from any country if they do it the right way. But when they jump across the borders, when they want it, and this doesn't just go. And I've said this several times, especially on my radio show. Just because when everybody thinks of illegal immigration, immediately what do they think of? Who do they think about? Just Mexico, right? Well, guess what? There's a very large, about 36% percentage of the illegal immigration come from Russia. And they're mostly female. They're taking advantage of the law, and what they do is they come over here pregnant. They will literally come over here pregnant, and what happens when they have to invade the United States? Surprise! Naturalized citizen. That's one of the parts of the illegal immigration law I believe need to be changed. Don't you? The anchor baby situation?
China's doing that too.
Yeah, there's been a big rush in China. In fact, China is almost outdoing the Russians at this point.
They even found prayer clause down there, Muslims, down there in Mexico, prayer clause. So it's the whole world that wants to get in here. We all know that.
Well, yeah. And why?
Any way they can.
But why do they want to get in here? Why do they want to get in here?
With free stuff.
Exactly. But going along those lines, one of the greatest presidents to me that this country ever had was Ronald Reagan. I'm a little bit biased. I like Ronald Reagan. Okay, what did he say? This is the last stand on earth. There is no place to go from here. So yeah, I'm flattered that everybody wants to come here. Just do it the right way. And by the way, when you get here, don't tell me how to do. Don't tell me that I have to speak your language. Don't tell me I have to, basically kiss your ass because you're here. That doesn't make any sense to me. If you want to, and I can't believe I'm going to say this because you know how we feel sometimes about the Ruskies. Putin had a point. He's like, when he was talking about illegal immigration in Russia, he said, immigrants need Russia. Russia does not need the immigrants. If you want to come here, you speak our language, you learn our culture. We should not have to change our laws. We should not have to change who we are as people to make you feel more comfortable and to turn basically our country into yours. If you like it so much there, if it's so great there, bye-bye. Go back. Because, you know, you want to be here for what? You want to be here for a reason. Because this is, in fact, the greatest country on earth. I'm never going to say any different. I'm tired of hearing people say that. Well, this country was never great. Like, really, it wasn't? Can you tell me why? Slavery. Like, slavery? Can you say that again? Come on. Oh, slavery. Okay. So you're telling me it's slavery, you know, I'm not saying it was a good thing. It was never a good thing. But do you think there was only one nationality that was used as slaves? What about the Irish? What about the Germans? They had German slaves too. They had Irish slaves. They had a lot of them. What about them? I mean, you don't see them dragging a potato down the street screaming at people, do you? I mean, some of my friends are Irish. They're going to hate me for that one later. I'm looking at Brian. Brian's about to have a meltdown. You're Irish, aren't you?
What's my last name?
I don't want to talk about it. Is it Wang? But you know, the point of, you know, bringing that up is, you know, they kept saying that. They kept saying, you know, slavery. I'm like, okay, you brought up slavery. I'm like, what else? And they're like, well, the 60s and the lynchings and the KKK and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, I understand that. That was a bad thing too. I think they're a bunch of retards as well. You know, I think that was a blight on American history, no doubt about it. But who was behind all this? And one of them actually told me, conservatives. I was like, really? I was like, hold on a second, let me show you something. I pulled my phone out, I'm like, oh, damn it. Who fought against slavery? Who wanted to keep slavery? Oh, that was the Democrats. And I was like, move forward, let's go to the 60s. Who was the KKK? Uh-oh, nobody remembers Mr. Byrd, do they? You know, the Grand Poobah himself. I was like, Hillary Clinton's best friend. I was like, here you go. Here's the information, use it. Well, the Democrat Party is not like it was before. I'm like, well, no kidding. The best Democrat that I've ever seen was John F. Kennedy. He couldn't keep it in his pants, but man, he was a good guy. You know, I liked Kennedy. In fact, I have a tapestry of Kennedy on my wall. And somebody actually brought that up one time. They're like, why do you have Kennedy on your wall? Aren't you conservative? I'm like, so I can't appreciate another man? I have to toe a party line now? That's another, you know, that was another thing that always aggravated me about talking to some of these people, was they believe you're a Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter how. I was like, well, did you know? And I brought this up to them. I was like, did you know, even on my radio show, and in fact, I even talked to Congress and everything about this, about the primaries. Because when you go to vote in a primary, what do you see? You have to walk in. Here's my license. You know, and you're like, okay, well.
Hey! You don't need to show any ID. That's racist.
Oh no!
You don't show ID
That's
when
it.
you go vote. What country you voting in?
Shit, I'm out of here.
You just walk in and say, I want to vote.
Run! But you know, you walk in, you got two tables. Republican, Democrat. Like, okay, I walked in and I was like, where's the libertarians? Where's the Green Party? They're like, well, I was like, why do I have to tell you if I'm a Republican or a Democrat? What if I want to vote for somebody's Democrat? What if I want to vote for somebody's Republican? I never believed in the party line. I never believed in the party line. Because I believe if someone is good for my state or good for my country, I should be able to vote for them, right? In the primaries, you can't. You have to pick. So I got a hold of the state of Illinois. I said, this is bullshit. I was like, I know I caught one off. Do you have a bleep button up there? I just left one. I just let one fly, and you didn't say anything good. Okay, so she didn't notice. Outstanding. But you know, and I actually contacted them. I was like, I want to know why can you not just put everybody on the same ballot? I was like, I don't care if you do, you know.
Give you some leeway.
I was like, well, you know, you can put, you know, Republican on the right-hand side, you can put, you know, Democrat on the left side, and put the independents in the center. I was like, but have them all on the same ballot, so that way if one of us wants to vote for an independent, if one of us wants to vote for Republican, Democrat, why not? They did not have an answer for me. They would not, they're like, well, that's just not how it works. I'm like, why? Why can't we fix the system so it works? It's like, you want everybody to vote, right? You want people to come on, you want to have a turnout, you want to keep this republic going. I will not say democracy, because we're a republic. Like, you want to keep this republic going, then why can't we vote for who we want to vote for? And I never got an answer. I literally got hung up on. So I showed up at the Capitol. Which, by the way, is a bad thing for me, because when I walk through the door, I kid you not, they actually call Madigan. They'll call his staffer to tell him I'm in the building. I even proved it. You were, I think, yeah, you were.
Asshole just showed up, asshole just showed up.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. Well, they, I think they refer to me as Napoleon. But I walked in there, and people from iGold, there were some listeners of the radio show with me. I didn't even know we had fans. I was thrilled. They were hanging out with us, and I was like, you want to see something really hilarious? I walked in, and they check your ID and stuff like that, and they're checking my bag and everything. They're really checking my bag. They're shaking that thing, looking, and it goes through the scanner. I'm like, by the way, there's a dildo in there, it's for you. Apparently that wasn't funny to them. I was like, okay, maybe a butt plug. But I walked through, and I'm like, watch this. We go walking upstairs. And of course they already have staffers out because it's iGold. I'm standing there, and all of a sudden I walk around in the corner, and the guy behind me's laughing hysterically because one of them goes, he's here. Like, he's here! He's here! I'm like, this is great. I love this. And I'm like, why do I make him nervous? Because I stood in front of Madigan in his own office and told him he was a jackass.
Yes, too.
And he didn't like it. Apparently. And, hey, did you know when you run in front of a U.S. senator, apparently calling them by their first name in a derogatory tone is not cool either. When they were doing conceal and carry, I was there. I was there every day. I literally took off work so I could be there. I went to every single one of the meetings. I sat in the room of Congress, and I was there. And lo and behold, Dick Durbin shows up. I'm like, oh, goody, this is gonna be fun. I go running up to him. I'm like, excuse me, Mr. Dick. Can I call you Dick? And I am talking like this. I'm literally talking like this. I'm like, I'd like to talk to you about our Second Amendment rights. And mind you, I am wearing my shirt that has, has an embroidery of the cross rifles on it, and it said BG Arms and Accessories. A gun company I had for a short period. I went ahead and got rid of it. But I'm standing there and I'm talking to him, and I was like, well, I want to know what you think about what you call assault rifles, and can I educate you on what an assault rifle really is? He's like, what do you mean? He's like, an assault rifle is like an AR-15. I was like, no, you're wrong. An AR-15 is a sporting rifle. An assault rifle is 3-round burst fully automatic, something that we can't own in the first place unless we have an exorbitant amount of money and a lot of time on our hands, to go through the hoops to get one. I was like, by the way, they're illegal in the state of Illinois, so what are you worried about? He's like, well, they're weapons of war. I was like, no, they're not weapons of war. They are modern sporting rifles. I was like, by the way, did you know when Stoner made the first AR-15, it was what? Hunting rifle. Anything that we've ever made is adapted for war. Everything. That's just how it works. So I'm talking to him, and when I started getting the upper hand, when I told him about the FBI statistics and how less than 1% of all shootings are used, the AR-15 or AK-47 are used in, and most of those are police shootings. They're actually logged into it. He just kind of looked at me. He's like, what? And he turned his back on me. Wrong man to turn your back to. Him and the staffer start walking, and I'm right behind him. I'm like, okay. I was like, excuse me, I wasn't done talking, sir. And I was being nice to him first. I was like, I wasn't talking, sir. And one of his staffers actually just kind of threw his hand up, like, okay, you just pissed me off, we're gonna have a problem. I yelled out on top of my lungs, like, well, the first name sure fits you, doesn't it, Dick? Dick Durbin kind of looked back a little bit, and he just kind of looked back. I was like, what, it's your first name, isn't it? Right, Dick? He kept walking. And one guy in the hallway is like, why'd you talk to the U.S. Senator that way? I was like, because he turned his back on a constituent. And that's the problem nowadays. That a lot of them do. A lot of them turn their back on you. When they say, when we talk about representation, someone might, we might have voted for him. But are they truly representing the people? Are they truly representing you? Are they listening to your voices? Are they hearing us? Like other people that are out here right now. I can hear people talking in the background. Are they hearing us? Are they just listening? What do you think about that? What do you think about how when you vote for somebody and you get them in office and you're like, okay, well, I don't like this particular tax plan that you're going to do. I'd like to talk to you about it. And they're like, well, here's a staffer. And then your message never gets there. It never gets there. And then the next thing you know, there's another 1% tax, 2% tax, whatever else on you. To me, that is still technically taxation without representation. Well, you're being represented because that's a representative of, I was like, no, he's just an ass in a suit. That's what he is. He won't listen to me, he's not talking to me. I want to talk to him personally. Well, there's thousands of you. I was like, I know there's thousands of us. That's why he should be listening. He should be listening because there's plenty of people with their voice. Okay? They want their voices heard. They want this is what we put you there for. You listen to what we have to say. Because I'll tell you what, we don't work for you. You work for us. Yeah, exactly. And that's the way it should be, right?
Public service.
And Brian, I could keep going all day, but would you like to come up here?
I thought you were doing a radio show.
Well, I can be. Do you want me to? Because there's other people. You want me to go full machine radio show for you?
Are those your last words?
No, because you know what? It'll be my last words because you'll have to shut it off because I'm going to fly off the handle. And there's going to be a lot of obscenities thrown out here.
We'll just have that part out of the for everybody.
She's no fun. See, the reason why, and me and Brian talked about this. I got offered syndication. You know why I didn't take it?
I was joking.
Because I couldn't use the word. I won't say it. I'm being nice. But we're not FCC compliant. In fact, normally we play the song that's called, well, I'm going to say it, fuck the FCC. So, we got offered to be on AM FM radio. We decided that is not what we're going to do because we believe we want to speak how we speak. We want to have people to where we don't have to edit what we say, and that includes our content. That includes if we want to talk about, if we want to talk about gun rights, if we want to talk about this, we don't want somebody saying, well, you shouldn't do that. Not going to happen. Because I believe in the freedom of, the First Amendment, the freedom of speech. And I believe in it wholeheartedly. Like Obama did when he was in office, what did he do? He didn't want people near him. He didn't want people to say anything to him. So, free speech zones. Everywhere I walk is a free speech zone. Here's a free speech zone. There's a free speech zone. If I want to say something, I'm going to say it. You're not going to stop me. And that's not how it should be. Should you be afraid to say what you feel like saying?
Can I?
Run.
Perfect interview.
Here you go, Brian.
Stay right here.
And to go on what he was just talking about, freedom of speech and the free speech zones, who knows about the Bundys? 1, 3, because, well, either they're well-informed or they've been listening to my broadcast. All right? I don't know which one is which, but the Bundys are the ranchers out in Nevada.
Clive
and Bundy.
Yeah.
Clive and Bundy, right? And even the conservative news called him a racist. When he was feeding people at his house, everybody that showed up at his house got fed. Everybody. They didn't expect the whole America to go out there and back him up. But everybody that went out there, he fed because they supported him. And what did they do? What did the federal government do? Put out free speech zones. You know what Clavin and them did? Tore them down. They stood for what everything is right here in America, and not anybody knows about them. Because they're guiding the news, they're guiding the media the way that they want you to hear it. What they want you to put in your mind. Free speech zones. Those people went to jail. For what? Standing on the Constitution and God and supporting that Second Amendment right. They went to jail, but guess what? They've been released now. All charges dropped because the federal government lied on everything to put them behind. And who are the ones that lied? Communists. It was all their plan. It's about Agenda 21 and tearing down this country. Communism, as I said, that's the umbrella over everything. Free speech zones, they can kiss my ass.
Well, you know, like I said, I'd like to remind everybody here, you have the right to say what you want to say. Now, I had people ask me, are you afraid? Sorry, it's going to happen again. Fuck
Go
no.
for it, what the hell?
No, I'm not afraid. You know why I'm not afraid? Because there's no reason to be. I'm going to say what I want to say, whether you want me to or not. And if you try to stop me, I'm going to keep coming at you. I'm not going to slow down. I'm not going to stop. Okay? That's just not going to happen. I believe the way this country was founded, and I'm not going to sway from that. And you're not going to say, well, you can't say that. I'm like, bullshit, I can't. Why? Because I just did. You're not going to stop me from saying it. You're not going to stop this man from saying it. You know, you're not going to stop him. Anybody that's here. Nobody's here is going to get stopped. Don't be afraid. And I hated using this analogy the other day, but I did. I liken some conservatives to Antifa for one reason only. They're afraid to have their name out there. They're afraid to have their face seen. Why? Show your face. Show the fact that you care. Show the fact that you're willing to speak. Show the fact that you don't, that you have a spine. That's the way it should be. Period. Never be afraid to say anything. And I'm literally just going to end right on that.
Thank you. Everybody, Brandon Gatton, he is the machine. I got something when I was just on that Bundy deal, okay?
Wait a minute, I'm going to take
Does everybody enter the private drawing?
On the Bundy deal, those people are just regular Americans. Regular Americans that were standing up with their First and Second Amendment. And who knows Robert Lavoie Finicum? Does anybody? You do? You do? Do you know Robert Lavoie Finicum? I know Larry does. That's what's on my wrist right here. If anybody cares to even know. Lavoie Finicum, he was out there in Oregon with Ammon Bundy where they were trying to help the ranchers, the Hammond family up there. He was assassinated by this federal government for standing up, speaking out, and getting involved using his First and Second Amendment. That isn't right. I don't care what part of the country you are from, where you live, it is not right. That was an American citizen that was gunned down on American soil. It's not right. And that's one of the reasons why we all should be standing up, speaking out, and getting involved. His life matters. Just like, I'll ask this, and some people might know because they've heard me speak before. Extortion 17. Okay, there's two. I know Larry knows. I know Ray Lynn knows. What's extortion 17? Putting you on the spot. Extortion 17. You know, you don't know of it? Okay. August 6, 2011. Have you heard about the Navy SEAL Team 6 that was gunned down over there in Afghanistan? That was their call sign. That was what it was, extortion 17. You know how many of our American Navy SEALs were on that helicopter?
Turn around, let me see. Oh, you drone.
I had to put on another shirt. There was 30 total on the helicopter. There was 22 of our Navy SEALs on that. You know what that was all about? They were set up. You know, quid pro quo is? They were set up and they were killed. They were killed to satisfy the Taliban, our enemy, because we evidently so-called killed Osama bin Laden. Okay? And the president at the time cut that deal. You know how I know that? And I'm speaking to him, but have you heard this story? You have.
I've heard the story.
Charles Strange is the father of one of those Navy SEALs who is going around, he was asking questions about what happened to his son and everybody that was on that mission. Because of him asking questions, the federal government over the previous administration started, well, wiretapping his phone, going into his computer and everything else. The first experience I had of that being true was myself and Charles being in an event called Reclaim America. Now in 2013, November 2013, I met him and we were calling each other in Washington, D.C. My phone was going nuts with zeros and ones and ones and zeros on my phone. We couldn't even talk because they kept on interfering. And then back in 2014, I go over to a memorial for his son in Philadelphia. And while I was there, he took me to his house, and Mary Ann, his wife, showed me what was on the computer, what happened, and the reason why, I don't know if you heard or not, of the case of some people suing the NSA, National Security Association Agency. Have you heard about that? They won 2 cases because, and it was started, the lawyer is Larry Klayman, the client is Charles Strange. His wife, Mary Ann, got to the computer one night and was gonna go play Candy Crush on her computer. Immediately, right in front of her eyes, on this computer, boom, in real time, a picture of her sitting right there at her computer from the federal government through the previous administration, basically telling them, we're watching you, you know, we got our eyes on you. We're not going to let the truth be known about extortion 17, our 22 brave Navy SEALs that got gunned down. We don't want the truth about that to come out. And they showed me that picture right there on the computer. And they sued the federal government with Larry Klayman. Wouldn't you, if you had a son overseas, got killed in a similar circumstance, wouldn't you want to find out what actually happened? Well, it's been proven. Because what happened when all the Gold, you know what a Gold Star family member is? Gold Star family member? It's the fathers and mothers of those that were killed overseas. Well, Gold Star family members, each one of the Navy SEALs' parents at Dover, when they brought back the caskets, they were all given a booklet, 1,300 pages. 1,300 pages and a CD. Within the 1,300 pages, every page was blank. They opened it up to find these were supposed to be the facts about what happened over there at Extortion 17. Blank. Slapping the parents in the face. Okay? Well, Mary Ann, the wife of Charles Strange, took that CD that they were all given, figured out a way to open it, and it had all the facts. Where the Navy SEAL Team 6 was set up 3 months prior, right after Osama bin Laden was killed of May 1st, they were told, the Taliban was told of this mission going to be over there with our Navy SEAL Team 6 going in Afghanistan, in the Tanjin Valley in Afghanistan. They were set up. You think that should happen to any of our Americans? It shouldn't. But see, this is what I talk about all the time. And Brandon, when he was up here, he says he goes over to different events and he'll ask questions. I ask those questions on waitresses. I ask in a group that's military. You'd be surprised how many military don't even know of Extortion 17. You'd be surprised how many Americans don't know of Extortion 17. You'd be surprised of how many Americans don't know about the Bundys or Robert Lavoie Finnegans. But see, all of this matters. Every bit of it matters, and we got to come together as Americans. And I say this all the time. Brandon talked about it before, where you know, if you go into an election booth, you should be able to vote for the person that, you know, aligns himself with your values. For America, was righteous for America, okay? That's what I feel. I voted Democrat before myself. A guy that used to do a radio show over there where I live. Righteous guy. He was running for the mayor, and I voted for him because I know who he is. I know what he stands for. He's got character, he's got integrity, right? So I voted for him. But that's what it's all about. We got to do this. We got to take, see, you might have an R on your head for a Republican, right? I might have a D on my head for Democrat. But we got to learn how to strip that R and D off of our forehead and plant a big old A for American. Start doing what's righteous for this country. We're all in it together. We're all in it together. And we got to do what's righteous. Now, I don't know where we're at on this program.
Pretty much, yeah.
Babette, damn, I wish you would have made it. Yeah, Brandon Gatton. What an illustrious ending with Brandon Gatton. He talks about freedom of speech. It's very colorful with him. Oh, there he is. I'm sorry, Brandon. I was just turning my back on you. You know what happened over there with Dick Durbin? He turned around and he couldn't see your ass. The way you were able to follow him is because he didn't know you were back there. Napoleonic man. All right. Oh, are you drawing?
I don't have my name in.
Let's have him draw.
You want to draw?
Draw one. Draw one. Poor guy. Poor guy. What's it say? Yeah, I didn't fill out one of those. You're drawing without my name in there? I can't win
I
nothing?
said, did everybody put it on?
I was talking at the time.
I went in for you. You didn't win.
About corruption.
Go ahead and draw.
Brandon?
If you pick Larry, that'll be fixed. What's it say? Huh?
Charles.
Charlo?
Charles? Charles.
Yeah.